Welcome to Weydii 252. I'm your host, Chamad Hashi. Thank you for tuning in. And today's news headlines are: President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud launches National Consultation Conference, calls for unity, one person, one vote. Portland President Saeed Deni has rejected the National Consultation Forum. The Somali Salvation Forum has rejected an invitation to participate in the consultation forum. Parliament session cancelled due to the lack of quorum. The Minister of Defense of Federal Government of Somalia, Ahmed Muallim Fiqi, held a high-level meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister and the State Minister of Defense of Qatar. The Minister of Commerce and Industry of Federal Government of Somalia, Mahmoud Ahmed Aden, held a bilateral meeting today with the Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Muwallad, at the Saudi Embassy. Also in other news, Israel bombs Iran state television in the latest wave of attacks on Tehran. The first female chief of the Secret Intelligence Services MI6 has been announced by the British Prime Minister. Ethiopia's top military commander has raised the alarm over what he termed as escalating national security threat from Egyptian troop deployment to Somalia. The EU says that it is providing €250,000 for life-saving aid. Good evening and welcome to the news. First, tonight, the President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud officially launched the National Consultative Conference, urging the Somali people to strengthen national unity and cohesion. In his remarks, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud reiterated his government's commitment to transition Somalia to a one-person, one-vote electoral system, a key national objective. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud also acknowledged the international community's significant support to Somalia while stressing the responsibility for the national development ultimately rests with the Somali people. The world has delivered on what we requested, but unfinished work remains on our side. It is up to us, the Somali people, to move beyond the past and complete the task of building a fully functioning state, said the president. The National Consultative Conference brought together senior government officials, former political leaders, representatives from political parties, and other parties. Portland President Saeed Abdullahi Deni has rejected the National Consultation Forum convened by Somalia's federal government, calling it symbolic exercise and instead of advocating for a broad-based summit that delivers joint national decisions. The forum comes as Somalia prepares for elections in 2026 and faces increasing pressure to finalize its provisional constitutional and transition towards more inclusive, stable political order. President Saeed Dini said Somalia does not need consultative gatherings where decisions are predetermined by federal government. This country needs serious dialogue that leads to collective decision, not forums where input is taken, where decisions are made unilaterally, he said. The Somali Salvation Forum has rejected an invitation to participate in the National Consultation Forum convened by President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, citing exclusion, lack of transparency, and failure to engage key Somali stakeholders. The forum has already faced delays and growing public skepticism. Forum Secretary John Dr. Mohammed Aden Kofi said the group will not take part in what he describes as cosmetic consultation that risk deepening divisions. Dr. Mohammed Aden Kofi said in an interview, "We will not join a table where Somalis are missing nor participate in the process that fragments Dr. Mohammed Aden Kofi said the opposition coalition had requested a clear agenda and a full list of participants ahead of the meeting but received no response. He also questioned the federal government's capacity to deliver a one person, one vote. Despite the growing resistance, the federal government has continued talks with the civil society leaders as well as political parties registered with the National Independent Electoral Commission, an institution whose appointments were previously boycotted by the opposition. Also, Parliament session cancelled due to the lack of quorum. Abdullahi Abshiro, the second deputy speaker of Somalia's House of People, announced that although important agenda items await the parliament, today's session was cancelled because there was not enough attendees to meet the quorum. The House of the People sessions was postponed due to insufficient attendees by MPs. Speaker Abshiro expressed strong displeasure over the continued lack of quorum, urging lawmakers to take their responsibility seriously. The Minister of Commerce and Industry of Federal Government of Somalia, Mahmoud Ahmed Aden, held a bilateral meeting today with the Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Muwallad, at the Saudi Embassy. The discussion focused on enhancing trade and investment cooperation between the two countries. Both sides explored the opportunity to increase the export of Somali livestock agricultural products to Saudi Arabia, reflecting Somalia's ambition to expand its economic footprints and regional markets. Key issues also addressed during the meeting including attracting Saudi investment in Somalia's infrastructure sector, facilitating business visas for Somali trades, and strengthening overall commercial ties between the two nations. The meeting underscores Somalia's commitment to deepening strategic economic partnerships and boosting private sector development through regional collaboration. The Minister of Defense of Federal Government of Somalia, Ahmed Muallim Fiqi, who is currently on an official visit to Doha, held a high-level meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister and State Minister of Defense of Qatar, Saudi bin Abdurrahman bin Hassan Al Thani. The two officials discussed a wide range of issues focused on strengthening bilateral defense cooperation and enhancing strategic relations between Somalia and Qatar. The meeting was attended by senior military and government officials from both nations and reflects the growing commitment to collaboration in areas of security, defense capacity building, and regional stability. Field Marshal Bahranu Jula, chief of Ethiopian National Defense Forces, told lawmakers in Addis Ababa over the weekend that foreign forces inside Somalia were operating under the disguise of cooperation but carried strategic intent that could destabilize Ethiopia. Israel bombs Iran's state television in the latest wave of missile attacks on capital Tehran. Multiple explosions have been heard around Tehran as Israel issues new evacuation threats, imminent attacks. Iran forces also warn residents of Israel Tel Aviv to evacuate. Netanyahu says killing of Iran's supreme leader will end the conflict. The death toll from Israel attacks on Iran has risen to more than 220, including 70 women and children. More than 20 people have been killed in Iranian attacks on Israel. Blaise Metrawali will be the 18th chief in the organization history, the first woman to hold the role at the time when the United Kingdom faces increased threats from our adversaries. Commonly referred to as C, the chief has operational responsibility for MI6 and is the only publicly named member of the organization. They are accountable to the Foreign Secretary. She is currently Director General Q, responsible for technology and innovation in MI6, and has previously held a director-level role in MI5. She will succeed Sir Richard Moore, who leaves the services in the autumn. The EU states that it's providing €250,000 for life-saving aid, including clean water, healthcare, shelter for vulnerable families in response to the severe drought, a humanitarian crisis that has persisted since 2022 and that is worsening due to the consecutive failed raining seasons. That's all for today. We'll be back with more news updates. Until then, stay tuned with Weydii 252. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's good night from us.